Ladies and gentlemen, boys and germs, it's Dave Neal, stand-up comic host of Bachelor Nation News, and we have a very big live stream happening today. Buckle up, as the kids like to say. There it is, folks. Take your buckle it the F up. Whatever you got to do. Tie it in a knot, just get this thing ready to go, because I don't want people sliding off their chairs or whatever. We're going to be talking today about motivations. Why would someone do what they may have done with regards to the men, Matt, Mike, Clayton, Greg, other Greg, me, possibly her lawyer in the future, her lawyers in the past. We're going to talk about all of these things today. Let's just let the chat populate right now. Let me catch my breath. I've been redacting and compiling about 20 tabs of emails from Greg Gillespie's former relationship, a fling, as it were. We're going to get to that in a second. As you guys know, the hit podcast, The Rush Hour, has been experiencing a real surge in audience members. And today's Thirsty Thursday, so this song is dedicated to all of my thirsty audience members out there.
The Rush Hour podcast, here we go. Dave Neal's bringing the flow. Thirsty Thursday, time to unwind. One step closer to that weekend grind.
Sipping on that tea, feeling so cool. Hip-hop beats dropping like a fool. Dave got the scoop, he's in the know. Unleashing the secrets, letting them go.
Let's go. Everybody, buckle up. Let's go. It's Thursday in the house today. We're going to buckle up each and every way. We're going to get ready for it like a parlay. Each and every day. We're going to get to you right now, from the left to the right, to the mic, to the mat, to the break, and debating. Going on today, it's all about gang motives. And 6, 7, 8. All right, let's start the party. Let's just get it. I mean, folks, I got a lot to talk about today. Carrie already starting us off strong with a super chat. Here's the one thing I can guarantee to you guys: this will be demonetized. Every single stream we have done gets demonetized, and you got to make videos. But then when I do videos, I can't interact with you guys. So thank you so much. Happy Thirsty Thursday to Carrie right there. And I am going to ask something of you today. I'm going to make a big ask today. Once the stream gets going, I'm going to ask everybody to contact the same media outlet. We're going to do a media blitz today. The time is of the essence that this story hits mainstream. The time is of the essence. We're not hiding behind threats of lawsuits, threats, cease this, desist that. No, we will not cease, we will not desist. We want the biggest audience.
It's hump day. Time to shake it up. Throw your hands up. Let me see you.
The story we are telling is the truth in our best sort of efforts to share that with others. Now, what was wild yesterday was these text messages were revealed. Now, I've been sharing these, but I understand not everyone can sift through a 3-hour live stream or whatever. But in these text messages, which were the text messages we used to show that Greg Gillespie wasn't lying, right? These text messages proved that Greg Gillespie was sent a fraudulent ultrasound. I mean, we don't need to pay $3,000 just for her attorney to say, well, we don't know if this thing needs to be admitted in court here. This ultrasound has the Fiverr logo. We've already got all that, right? So we've seen all of that. But now the question is, it looks like her attorney is saying these past men, even though they had a pregnancy scandal with her, are not relevant to the current situation. And Greg Woodnick says, I object to that. The only thing you need to show for relevancy, right, is a motive. And we start to look, we go, well, what is the motive? And right here we see Greg calling her a scam artist. He says, you need to leave me alone, you scam artist. She says, you are so damn wrong, and we'll find out how much I'm not. You deserve as many legal issues as possible after what you did to me. Now, what does it mean, what you did to me? She might say, well, he coerced her into an abortion. What I believe what you did to me means is you rejected me. Hey, guys, Trust me, no one is more equipped to discuss this type of stuff than me. I'm anxious attachment. If you reject me, we've had people in the Bachelor community that ghosted me because of this story. I've had nights where I laid up at night just thinking how much it sucked to be rejected. It's like being dumped. I got a happy wife, I got a happy, all these things, and yet still the anxious attachment inside of me wants, random people's approvals or this and that, and it sucks. But I've never done what's happening here. But I understand it to an extent. Is this the craziest, wildest extent? Yes. So he says, I'm sorry, but you must have read that wrong. I said I didn't, which was the answer to a different question. You are clearly trying to manipulate, scam, blackmail. Stop harassing me. Stop contacting me. Stop reaching out from different forms of communication. You need to leave me alone, Jane Doe. That's what he says. So when it comes to what might the motive be, we have to look at the motive being maybe money, but maybe pain. And if pain's the motive, I think that's fair to show. Now, here's a text message I just shared with you. You are so dang wrong, and we'll find out how much I'm not. You deserve as many legal issues as possible after what you did to me. But also, then there was a $45,000 punitive request of the court due to the damages she received. I believe this number then went up to $90,000. So money's there. I mean, it might not be a lot of money, but you can show that money was there. And if Greg may prove that she was never pregnant in the first place, well, then I think that motivation makes it look a little stronger now. What I'm going to share with you guys, along with a hell of a lot of tea, I got a lot coming your way. I'm gonna share with you throughout this live stream some emails we've already seen, some brand new ones. I mean, I'm gonna have to get my reading glasses on to read some of these, but also we may have another instance of medical fraud, or it's not medical fraud. Is Lisa Daniels a real person? Maybe. Is this a real message from her? We'll have to see. We'll have to see all of that. So anyhow, like I said, buckle up. And if you're wondering what the motive is, it could be the motive is pain.
Crawling through the darkness, can't escape the pain. Every step I take, feel it in my veins. The demons in my head, they won't let me pay. The motive is pain, and it's consuming me. Suffocating silence echoes in my mind.
Look at the audio cut off.
I can leave behind. Bitterness and rage, it's all that I know. The motive is pain, and it's starting to show. The motive is pain, it's tearing me.
All right, so what I was saying is we're going to do a media blitz. Once we hit 1,000 people in the chat, we'll do a media blitz. And we're going to ask everybody who's available to reach out to the same media person. We're going to make sure they get the attention of this story today, whether they decide to cover it or not. I believe they will. I believe the person who we're going to reach out to will cover this story in light of the baby reindeer story happening in the UK and this sort of adjacent story happening here. I do believe people will cover it. So they said audio is choppy when you play music. When the music plays, your mic audio gets funky. Good to know. Thank you so much. I will not talk over the music. Thank you for that update here. I don't know if you can see a better quality. I've upgraded to the professional version of this live stream content. I don't know if it's going to help or not. But anyway, let's get the party started, right? Let's get into it. So again, we will see. You and I, we will not be able to prove motive. That's not our job. But to show that motive may exist, I absolutely think that is the case, having seen the different text messages out there. I'm going to start right now with something kind of interesting right here. Now, mind you, this is a very small text here. Hey, Dave. I commented in Meg's live stream tonight, but if you didn't see it, I noticed that Jane Doe sent that email to Meg at 2:47 p.m. Eastern time. You shared her video on your Patreon about 7 minutes into your stream, which started just after 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. I think that's pretty good evidence that Jane Doe is still lurking in case you want to call her out. I think that would be pretty funny. So what they're referencing is the fact that yesterday in my Patreon, I started sharing this live stream from Meg's Crime Watch, and then right after sharing this, or excuse me, maybe a couple days ago, right after sharing this video from Meg's Crime Watch, Meg got a cease and desist of sorts. Meg, I followed your playlist, Jane Doe v. Ecker, with increasing concern. Your most recent video titled "Faking a Pregnancy is Easy When You Have Zoom Court" stands out for its particularly harmful assertions, and at this time in the content are categorically untrue and damaging. It's evident that these distortions are designed to boost views and monetization, but at a cost to the truth and to my personal reputation. So she goes on and on. I urge you to retract the false statements and delete its videos or correct the misinformation immediately. If these issues are not resolved promptly, be advised that my attorney is prepared to pursue legal action against all parties who have perpetuated or profited from these falsehoods. All right, folks, where are the falsehoods? Well, I tell you what, we're not going to look at falsehoods today. We're going to look at real hoods. So I've got for you, like I said, about 15 pages of documents to get through. It is a lot. Okay, folks, I've got a complaint here, a civil complaint from Jane Doe to Greg Gillespie, where the claim is tort. The defendant resides in this town. They click on that. The defendant owes the sum of $45,000. Due to what charge? Well, I guess the charge of not wanting to bang, not wanting to date. No, the charge being, I guess, coercion, abortion coercion. I think abortion coercion. Wow, that rhymes, right? Anyway, we're going to get into this a little bit more, but this essentially just shares, the different, and again, this was on August 10th. This was filled out 2021, but this shares a bunch of the documents my guess is these documents are real. The ones that, I don't know. I don't know. Is John Jones real? Patient was evaluated in the office today and was determined to be in the early stages of pregnancy. Patient was on seizure meds. Is this real? I have no idea. I have no idea if this is real. We have to question everything now that we've got, mischaracterizations of truth. So either way, I'm going to share with you kind of what led to that point. So let's start over here. And again, I know this is small, but let's start over here with August 11th. This is an email from Jane Doe to Greg, and I'm going to share with you a bunch of emails from Jane Doe. I don't think we have one of which he responds. I don't think we've got him responding at all. Jane Jones says, John Jones is my brother and cousin of Chase J. Jones. Yes, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Maybe there is maybe there are a lot of Jones that work in the world. John Jones at onemedical.com. Look, has any of this been subpoenaed? I don't know. If it was just a urine pregnancy test, I guess the question is this. So, anyone can take a urine pregnancy test from a Walmart, but like, why are we going to One Medical to take that? Go somewhere to take an ultrasound. You're very wealthy. And as she's going to show in these documents, she's actually said there's no price I'm not willing to pay to defend myself. But again, as wealthy as she claims to be, everyone's got a point, right? This is costing her hundreds of thousands of dollars. From Jane Doe to Greg. Hi, I had total trust in you to keep your word, but I'm pretty sure you aren't at this point, which is devastating given the current circumstance. I don't know why it is so hard for me to accept you are maybe just selfish and awful, but I truly don't understand how a person could have sent me the messages and conveyed to me such a genuineness if it was all a lie. And this is where she's again beginning the sort of the conversation of abortion coercion, which, by the way, isn't a thing. It is not a thing. If I tell someone to get an abortion, I'm not coercing them to do that. Maybe an abortion coercion would be if I asked someone if they wanted M&Ms and then I had Plan B painted in the color of M&Ms. Maybe that would be. She said, it is extremely hard to not know what is ahead and go through this alone. I would be willing to file for a pretrial dismissal and withdraw my documents like the one attached, because as it stands, they are public record and anyone can view them. They are public record and anyone can view them, right? That sounds like threatening, doesn't it? I can withdraw these if you don't want, because they will be public and your character will be, shredded because of this. If I do it before your 20 days and or you file a response, I don't think it is possible. I would only do that if you were somehow having a mental breakdown from the stress and now intended to be who you said you were going to be. I don't want it to affect your employment or whatever in the future. That is not at all my intention. If you were really just leading me on, $45,000 doesn't come close to the unnecessary guilt and anguish you have caused and continue to cause me. I would much rather have your word and support than your money. So at this point, she wants $45,000 for this to go away. I have been discussing this with 2 attorneys and have not picked between them, or may have 2. One is a canon lawyer because this case has a lot to do with decisions based on faith. What? I never forced you into a and by the way, so I wonder if she's getting those lawyers, from the funds of good faith Christians. I believe she is Catholic, right? So she was discussing this with a Catholic lawyer. I never forced you into a relationship, as there was always the option of me going my own way, but you were forcing me into having an abortion. If you truly thought I was a psychopath and was going to bail, why would you have walked until the day after I took abortion pills to block me? This is so small. It was because you didn't want a child. You intentionally missed me to go against my own morals, which I told you would destroy me for your own personal benefit. Again, this is by nowhere near all of the evidence. You told me to trust you 68 times. By the way, you're allowed to lie. You're allowed to lie. You're allowed to say, hey, I'll date you. If you take the abortion pill, I'll date you. And then the next day you go, psych, psych. Guys, if you hit the like button, I will give each and every one of you a new car. Psych. Okay. You told me that you hadn't changed your mind about what you want and that your answer about a future for us hadn't changed 74 times. Oh boy, she needs Bachelor data over here to run all of the charts. My vast number of texts to you were because A, I didn't want to make the right call about an abortion, and B, I didn't trust you to keep your word. They only further prove that I had reason to doubt you. There has never been a doubt of paternity whatsoever, and I'm not ashamed of myself for anything I said or did. I don't know why I'm allowing you another chance to be the guy I thought you were, but I am. Like you said, you loved the quote, when people show you who they are, believe them. We do. I so badly want to believe you are the guy I met and who convinced me of our great future together, because that doesn't seem like the same person as now. It would be way easier for me to comprehend stress and depression than you being a selfish, cowardly, pathological liar. Rejection much. If I don't hear from you about this email by tonight, I will have my process server contact your work to get it, which I don't want to do myself. You can look up the case on the Maricopa Superior Court website. You can call or text me at number redacted if you want to, Janie Doe. And then, of course, there it is the case number, which I believe is the one I just shared with you, which is essentially just a whole bunch of text messages. So it's 25 pages of text messages, which she's saying are going to get in, these text messages are going to get in the court system. They'll be public. Well, too bad for her. They are public. Now, of course, in hindsight, she's asked for all of this to be sealed as motivations and the blueprints of architecture have come together. But in the moment, she didn't want this sealed. She wanted it public to show he's the bad guy. He's such a bad guy. She quoted Maya Angelou. Yes, that's right, a black poet. She used the words of a great black poet. She'll use the words of anybody, really. Whatever you need, folks. Whatever you need. Hey, everybody. Good to see you all. Good to see you all in there. Just a reminder, no fighting, no cross-fighting. We're going to be, Bruce, let's be quick. Bruce and Sarah and the moderators, let's be quick to block today because we're going to have a lot of people in the chat. Block if anybody's fighting back and forth. I want this to be as supportive as possible. Zero tolerance starting right now. Zero tolerance with any cross fighting. Talk to me, talk positive stuff. Let's just keep it there, right? Let's spread the love. It's the Brooklyn way. All right. So Thursday, August 12th, it continues. Now, give me a second here. I got to keep my mouth parched. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Yeah, we don't like cross fighting here. And I'm just going to, nip this in the bud. Not that it's happening. It's not. I'm just saying. All right. So that was, I believe, the day before, right? That was the day before. That was August 11th. We're gonna get through the whole month of August today. Hi, Greg. Redacted informed me that this is the correct email for you. I believe that's like someone in their HR department. So she emailed their, I don't know, maybe it's not. She said, I am attaching the official documents for the case, which means service. Although in order to cover my bases, you will be served with paper copies of everything tonight. You can view more info on the case if you make an account on turbocourt.com. I also wanted to let you know that after I went to the clinic this morning, I found out that I am still pregnant. I know this is only going to create more challenges because I am not going to proceed with an abortion under false pretenses and will instead trust that this child was meant to be born, regardless of any potential defects. I would have had respect for you if you and I had gone out on just a few dates. I mean, would Jane Doe respect me if I take her on a date? If I invite her to Olive Garden, maybe she'll, okay. Hey, honey, can we change the reservations and bring Jane Doe? I think that'll make her happy here. She just needs a little love, guys. I never would have proceeded with a lawsuit if that happened. You did this intentionally. All right. So she never would have proceeded with a lawsuit if he had gone on a few dates with her. I mean, isn't that alone an abuse of the court system? I would have had respect for you if you and I had gone out on just a few dates. I never would have proceeded with a lawsuit if that happened. I mean, this should be boom, end, done, donezo, right? Blueprints complete. We see it all. You did this intentionally twice. And you knew this would cause extreme emotional distress for me, which is something you didn't want to deal with, so you blocked me. I texted you throughout the day because when I was weighing my options, I didn't trust you to keep your word and wanted reassurance. The legal advice I've gotten so far has adamantly been to go full steam ahead with the lawsuit, file a criminal lawsuit, and not give you another chance because they don't think that someone who manipulated me is healthy to be with. I'm so defensive of you, and I know I shouldn't be. They have said that your lack of response to the many chances I have given you is equivalent to your admission of guilt. Oh, I'm sure they did say that, didn't they? I keep saying that. I think you meant what you said and are cooling off. As I have said so many times, if you meant or prove that you intend to keep your word, I will completely drop this before we get a court date. I will drop this if you date me. Should that be the title? And then we have 4 attachments. Should we open up the attachments? Why the hell not? Actually, wait a second. It's a summons. So one of these summons we already saw, and then we'll get to some of these. Okay, we'll get to some of these. That was August 12th, around noonish. Little lunchtime break. Take a little break for lunch. What'd you do during your lunch break? I fired off a couple emails to a guy that doesn't want to date me. Tuesday. All right. So now we have Friday. Oh, that was Thursday. Now we have Friday. Hi, I wanted to ask you one last time if you wanted to keep all of the promises that you made me. And if so, I will voluntarily dismiss all charges. Hold on. I will voluntarily dismiss all charges and agree not to file anything again, regardless of the outcome. At any point during this process, you could have said, whoa, that's too much to ask him out. You didn't take the opportunity, though. You kept telling me you would keep your word, and then afterwards made horrible statements to me about how I was crazy for wanting what you told me you wanted. The key here is that you waited until after I took the pills when you had every opportunity to tell me your real feelings during the process. Our relationship was not under normal circumstances whatsoever. Yeah, he took you home from the bar one night. It wasn't like you got pizza, maybe you hooked up, whatever. You barely knew each other's names and you banged. It wasn't like we just dated and I asked you to be together with huge expectations when you weren't ready. That would definitely not constitute a lawsuit. In our case, though, we create human life that I wanted to carry to term, and you manipulated me into not doing that. I set very high expectations because I wanted to know that you were not going to leave. You knew exactly the impact that an abortion would have on me. You brought this on yourself. At this point, I need to know that I proceeded with this for a reason. As of this morning, I am still pregnant with a single baby, not 2, and will not terminate it unless you keep to your word. I have wanted to and still want to go out with you because I want to believe that you meant what you told me so many times and that I didn't make this decision because of empty promises and extreme pressure from you. If not, I have been advised to file criminal charges against you for fraud, where I can easily establish my case. By the way, 3 years later, she never did that. The elements needed for this charge are to establish misrepresentation of fact by someone who knows the presented fact is false. In addition, that person should rely on the misrepresentation to cause injury or losses to someone else. It's a class 2 felony that carries probation to 1 year in a jail or a prison sentence. I do not want to go that route at all, but I will if things are as they appear to be right now, and that you wanted me to get an abortion at all costs, knowing the impact it would have on me. I don't want to spend another minute on this because I know neither of us have the time, but I absolutely will if needed. All I want is what you told me you wanted if I got an abortion, a real genuine relationship where we even thought we had no idea, where we even, though we have no idea if it works in the end or not, we really try. Gosh, what a run on. Can we get a GoFundMe for her to get writing lit classes? Let me know what you want that, and let me know what you want that. And if not, I don't have any moral issues proceeding with this as a civil and criminal level. You can text or call me whenever you would like. Jane, all the best. So this was at lunchtime the next day. So she sent both emails at lunchtime. That's pretty interesting. 12:54 p.m. Thursday. And then, I mean, did she send it at lunchtime for a specific reason? 12:38 p.m. Friday. Very interesting stuff. All right, you're giving that girl another timeout, Bruce. All right, we're gonna have to block in a second if there's any issues. I appreciate the timeouts, but we're not. Oh, you got the wrong. All right, I think we're all caught up here. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna try my best to make sure we're all on the same page here. So. We have these emails. We have 900 people in the chat. Please hit the like button and we'll continue going. When we get to 1,000 people in the chat, I'm going to tell you who I want us all to email today. And maybe by tonight or tomorrow, we'll get me on their show to continue to put national pressure on this story. All right. We move to Sunday, 11:15 a.m. All right, so she gets this email out a little early. Now, this email may or may not contain medical fraud. Pretty much any document she ever sends, I'm going to consider it to be fraudulent until verified that it's not. That's where I'm working with her due to her Adobe Acrobat skills that we have seen. All right, so before we get into this email, which again will show right here an attachment that I think isn't real. We'll get to that in a second, but let's just do some quick inventory because I know the super chats have started to pile up. Very substantial ones too. Boxing for Life with $20. Thank you so much. Lisa Kemmer, 10 Canadian dollars for the eventual demonetization. Thank you so much for that. And Cassie, 5 Canadian. Your audio cut out. Oh, thank you for the heads up. I will not be talking over the audio. And then Stephanie said $10. Got to go. I'm about to take a final. Keep spreading the good word. Well, Stephanie, good luck on your final. If you get anything less than an A, we're going to sue the professor for fraud. Just so you know, you have to get an A or we're going to sue the professor for fraud. All right, folks. So let's continue. And by the way, I will be live June 10th. Bruce is going to be with me, and I'm sure there'll be some others. Hey, Bruce, I have a new idea for what I think I'm going to do to power the setup, the live stream setup. I'm gonna try to receive a permit, but I'm thinking renting a. You know what? We'll talk behind the scenes here. I'm going to be buying a tripod stand that connects my laptop, and I'm going to have my full live stream setup, and maybe someone can be there to like help me out with comments. And I'm going to be live probably from 7 a.m. June 10th till whenever we're done recording, maybe 11 a.m., maybe noon. We'll have some umbrellas that we can hold to stay in the shade. And I'm going to have some fans there and hope my laptop doesn't combust into flames. But thank you guys in advance for all of your support. We will be outside the courthouse for the Clayton Accuser trial. I know a lot of people want to bring waters and refreshments and this and that. We're going to be as respectful as possible to the process, but at the same time, I think having people there that want to encourage Mike, encourage Greg, encourage Clayton on their way into the courthouse, I think that would say a lot of good energy for the day. To just be there, make a sign, bring a sign, love. It's all love. No hate towards Jane Doe. We stick to love and positivity towards these men. That's how it has to be. If I see anyone there, I mean, people, freedom of speech, you can do whatever you want, right? On public land, or, to an extent, you can do whatever you want and bash her. I want to show the positivity that can exist in a negative situation. And by doing that, we elevate Clayton, Mike, Matt, and Greg. And maybe Matt will feel comfortable sharing his story when he sees 50 people outside just really, trying to share that love and positivity. All right. Anyhow, let's continue. Let's keep this going here. But yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for all that positivity. Yeah, look, love is a higher energy level than hate. As we've seen here, 1,000 people in the chat, love is a higher energy level than hate. One way in which we continue to transcend a lot of this nonsense, all of the threats. I mean, guys, I'm getting threats from her lawyer the day of my baby shower. When my wife's awake, I have to whisper because I don't want her to be affected by some of this nonsense. Like, trust me when I say this has not been a no collateral damage situation for me and my family. Okay. But with that said, the conversations I've had, from getting cease and desist sent to us when we were on our baby moon, from getting having to tell my landlord at the time, hey, there's someone who hired a process server to send me papers. So if you see a process server outside of your house, just know that it's because I've got someone trying to sue me, get a restraining order against me, sue me for harassment, all these other things. I've lost friends over this, people that don't understand the nuance of what the hell's going on. Maybe they've received threatening letters from her. Maybe other podcasts have received threatening letters, and rather than do their own research as to what the hell's going on, so there has been damage. She has made me pay. She has made these other men pay. And still, with all of that said, we're here with 1,000 people in the chat, going above and beyond to just share the gosh dang effing truth. What I'm going to ask for you guys right now with 1,000 people in the chat, and guys, we will be sharing this right after. I will be getting into what I believe to be as possible medical fraud. The emails continue, and there are a lot of emails to go forward. But what I want to share with you is, and again, I know not everyone is going to like the media personality I'm about to mention. Megyn Kelly is a former practicing lawyer who has been covering the baby reindeer case. So Megyn Kelly is not afraid to talk about controversial topics, but also in a way that brings the legal world into it, and in a way that, she's really good when it comes to enough is enough. We need to have this type of conversation. So I believe she's the right person that will pick this story up. Hey, I'd love it if people at CNN, I'd love it if Kelly Clarkson show wanted to cover it. I'd love it if Dr. Phil wanted to cover it. Nobody is. So what I'm asking of people right now is to not send me super chats, to not do this, to not subscribe. All I'm asking is to get Megyn Kelly's attention. Here are the 3 emails I would like everybody to write down. Here are the 3 emails that I would like everybody to, put together, and let's email them right now, please. Now, bystander syndrome is when you think somebody else is going to do it. All right, someone else will do it. I'm fine here. Please, if you're watching on your YouTube, get out your cell phone. If you're watching on your, just do what you got to do. Screen grab this right now if you're going to send it in an hour. Media at Devil May Care Media. Advertising at Devil May Care Media. Just send them all. Megyn at megynkelly.com. I'm going to email Megyn at megynkelly.com right now just to show you what we are going to be sending. So here's my email. Let me redact a few. Hold on a second. I'm going to redact a few things here in my email, and then we're going to send them an email just so you can see what it looks like. Press inquiry. Let's just call it that. Real life baby reindeer. This is what we're going to call it. Okay. Press inquiry, real life baby reindeer. And I'm going to take her as Megyn at megynkelly.com is going to be who I'm emailing it to. And I would love it if she could get 100 emails today. I would. And you know what? What's Dave trying to do? I want the truth out there. Okay. And now's the time we make this happen. Megyn, press inquiry, real life baby reindeer. I'm a comedian and YouTuber and have been sued for harassment over my coverage of a bizarre real life paternity scandal. Clayton Accuser, former Bachelor is in a wild paternity scandal with a woman he never had sex with. Um, it has come out that 3 other men have been the same have had the same experience as Bachelor Clayton. We have uncovered fraudulent medical documents and even raised money for a computer forensic expert to verify that this lady also faked uh, ovarian cancer years ago. The story is beyond bizarre and is entirely worth the coverage. Please consider looking in to how one person could abuse the family court system so aggressively. Your time would be happy to jump on a call and further explain the bizarre case. Many uh, uh, there are talks from some big streamers to pick this case up as a 3-hour documentary. Sorry guys, I'm almost done. Since I have been one of the initial people covering this case, I have been threatened with multiple lawsuits, defamation lawsuits. I have I'm happy to share all smoking gun evidence that shows medical fraud, and even a ultrasound that we exposed as fake due to a Fiverr logo found in the forensic search. Thanks again for your consideration. All right, so I'm going to send this to Megan Kelly, and I'm also going to send this to right here, media inquiries. And then at the same time, later on today, I'm going to make a tweet and an Instagram reel, and I'm just going to ask people to tag her. I want to go straight to her. This whole thing where we reach out to a whole bunch of people, it's just not working. We need somebody who's, and look, say what you want about Megan Kelly, but she has absolute brass ovaries. The way she handled the debate when Trump was calling her out, she may not be on the same political side as everybody, but she is on the side of getting down to the truth here. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys, but please don't do bystander syndrome. Send this email to Megan@megankelly.com and at media@devilmaycaremedia.com. Even if she only gets 50 of these emails, we need this attention. I need it for my own livelihood. I need it to protect myself from defamation lawsuits. The only thing that's going to prevent me from getting sued is if this story keeps on building momentum to the point where they know we'll have unlimited funds to defend ourselves. Someone said, can we post a Patreon as well? I don't know what that means. Add the Padlet time link. Okay, where's the Padlet time link? Road Let's Travel said, Dave, how do we direct them back to you in the email? My email is daveneal5@gmail. So you can add that if you want. daveneal5@gmail.com. And you can just say, I've been the lead journalist covering this story. And If you mail me what it is, I can pin it in Discord. Bruce, can you pin Megan Kelly's email address? I tell you what, I will CC you here. Well, I won't do that now because I don't want. All right, so I'm a stand-up comedian and YouTuber, and I've been sued for harassment over my coverage of a bizarre real life. It is absolutely blowing up on the internet, and with the attention on male victims like baby reindeer, I believe it is an interesting conversation that needs to be shared. Clayton Accuser, former Bachelor, is in a wild paternity scandal with a woman he never had sex with. He claims they only had oral. She claims she still got pregnant. It's come out that 3 other men have had the same experience as we have uncovered fraudulent medical documents and even raised money for a computer forensic expert to verify that this lady also faked ovarian cancer years ago. The story is bizarre and is entirely worth the coverage. All right. Any questions? Email sent. Thanks, guys. All right. Okay. Yeah. So you want me to? Okay. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm checking my email here. By the way, thank you, Barbara Delman, for the $10 Venmo. Thank you so much. What is the Padlet? Oh, there it is. So I'm going to add this here, and this is a timeline of important events. Timeline. Okay. And then as soon as I'm done with this, in 1 minute, we'll get back to the show. So aggressively. Thanks to a large grassroots movement, money has been raised for the defense of these innocent men. This money has now all we need is a national platform to continue sharing this story. Okay, I'm sending it. We good? You guys all good? I got a lot of emails. All right, so let me know if you guys sent this. All right, so I'm sending it right now. I'm sending this one to Megan Kelly and media@devilmaycaremedia.com. Also, let's do this. Let's go on Twitter real quick and send her and let's do this. Let's go to Megan Kelly. I'm going to do this as well, and then we'll be done. Megan Kelly show, and then Megan Kelly, right? So there's 2 people here. Hey, Megan Kelly. You may receive a media blitz from a ton of people today about a wild story I've been unearthing. It is a real life baby reindeer story happening right now in Arizona. involving a former bachelor. Check those emails. Megan, we have exposed massive fraud. All right. I'm sending this right now, and then let's view it. And then underneath, I'm going to say, we have exposed medical fraud, fake ultrasounds with Fiverr logos still, and all. We have exposed and verified fake ovarian cancer, medical documents used by a woman to force a man to date her. This was verified with, oh, sorry guys, verified with a with funds raised in a grassroots effort by exposed fake cancer medical docs. All right, done. Fiverr, I don't believe Fiverr got back. Yeah, we can put this on Patreon as well. Damiana said, check your errors. It's too late. We're done. Sorry. It's too late. So if anybody wants to, they can hit the retweet button right now on this. You can retweet this right now and try to get their attention. All right, we're going to move on. 1,100 people in the chat. Ovarian doesn't need to be capitalized. All right, it's done. I'm done. I did the best I could. Okay. Thanks, guys. I know there's a lot to get in there. We just want to get on the phone and then we can continue to have this discussion. But time's up as far as not having national coverage. All right, we're going to continue. So let's continue. You guys ready? So thank you guys all so much. Jessica said, not too late for the email. I already sent the email. I'm done. It's all right. It's going to be okay. Let's continue. The process. So here's an email. Elaine said, I screenshotted the emails, but was going to draft my own. Just draft your own. Say whatever you want to say, in your own words. It doesn't have to be like form. Thanks, guys. I mean, we can do the same to Piers Morgan too, but that's a different. All right, let's continue. Geez, my eyesight is so bad right now. This is the biggest I could get it. Let me see if I can get this a little bit bigger on my end. There we go. This is Sunday, August 15th. So we have what led up to Sunday, August 15th. And by the way, thank you guys so much for the super chats. Let me clear these two right now. Thank you so much. 25 Canadian dollars. Dave, thank you for sharing the truth. Thank you, France. And also $2 from Andy. As a mom of 4 boys, thank you for sharing the truth. As a mom of 1 boy, as a dad of 1 boy, you're welcome. And again, gender doesn't even matter here. It's about just getting. It's about. Ruth said, "Why CC Dave?" I think I said journalist in the email, right? My email is daveneal5@gmail.com. All right, here we go. This is Sunday. Hi, this is from Jane to Greg. The process server has tried to serve you twice and said you were home on both occasions, but choose not to answer the door. He took photos both times. He's an officer of the court, and if you don't answer on his 3rd attempt, we will have to go to the court to get an order to post the proof of service on your door. It doesn't look good for you to the court when you know these documents are coming, but you are choosing not to receive them. I think I have found representation for the case And why does she include this stuff? I think I found representation for the case and I'm waiting to make a decision until if I hear back from you. Joe Cotchett, Uncle Jodo, the Jodo bird. Uncle Joe is an attorney in California who is also licensed to practice federally and across state lines. Full disclosure, he is also by the way, is there a specific license to practice federally? Full disclosure, he is also a close family friend who said I should have filed for more money and additional charges. Again, more motive. I have not told my family that I spoke with him. He has known me since I was a kid, knows my character, and completely believes me when I say that you are the only person I slept with since my ex and I broke up in early February of last year. Nobody cares. Here are the notes I took. I sent him our entire text history directly from AT&T records. Oh, let's get those records, AT&T. Including my many texts to you. He said that my communication to you was completely valid given the situation, that I gave you several opportunities to bow out of the situation without consequences, so long as I was able to continue with the pregnancy. He agreed that you were trying to trap me by not answering the door and taking a photo of me checking on you when you said you had COVID, and I was concerned for your well-being. He said that were you dating someone then or even now, that is further testament to the fact that you did not intend to keep your promise and that it looks very bad on you. So she's now like wondering if he's dating someone else. He also said that, and by the way, this was after Greg got out of a long relationship. Can you imagine? You get out of a long relationship and this is the first thing you see. He also said that my texts after the medical abortion were not harassment, given your promises to me, and that any reasonable person would have reacted the same way. He said that regardless of if I was the one who took the pills or not, your behavior was manipulation. He is also one of my dad's closest friends. I'm going to get my daddy's lawyer, and did not appreciate that when I poured my heart out to you about his medical issues and me wanting you to meet him if you were serious, you said that you understood. That was not okay if those weren't your intentions. All right, so she brings her own dad's Parkinson's disease into it. My hesitancy in hiring him is that he would want to talk about this to the media because he thinks it would be a landmark case. You know what? I think it would be a landmark case too. You aren't the first guy to coerce a girl into an abortion, and he thinks there should be legal consequences for men who do that to prevent it from happening. I have attached notes from my visit with One Medical on Friday confirming my pregnancy with likely defects. I asked them for a note for your sake that I could also use in evidence if we keep going this way. Your behavior on the call we had on 7/16 with the nurse practitioner was also noted, and she would testify on my behalf in court. Here are more texts with me telling you I did not want an abortion if it weren't for you and my expectations. I have many people who will testify about my character, including men I have dated. I wonder where those guys are. I wonder if, that we already had the evidence disclosure, right? So the witness disclosure. So I don't think that she's got any men testifying on her behalf, dude. Does she? I've got many men. Who will testify on my behalf about my character, including men I have dated, and how the anxiety I showed in text messages was very unlike me and clearly as a result of extreme stress. Now, look, we all know what's going on here is like extreme. There are a lot of issues going on here. So I exist. My heart and brain coexist in a way where I feel bad for her. I truly do. But I'm also in a defensive position as she's still attempting and trying to, sue me and everybody else. Please let me know if you've read any of my emails and if you have thought about more about whether or not you want to keep your promise. Your lack of response looks even more favorable to my side since it shows that you did not intend to keep your word. All right, so she's trying to goat him into responding. This isn't about me being bitter about a regular relationship and you ghosting. It's about me being destroyed that you had me get an abortion under totally false pretenses, and now I can't undo the damage. I have not asked you for a commitment to marriage. I have asked for you to give it a real shot like you claimed you wanted and drop this for good, waiving my rights to try this again. You can call, email, or text. We know. I will continue with this, which is the last thing I want to do. And so here's the attachment from her. Here is the attachment. This is it. This is the document right here. This is the attachment right here. This is it, folks. This is the attachment. Your pregnancy, Lisa Daniels, PA-C, August 13th, 2021. Now, I'm already wondering here. I know you guys can't tell here, but there is a color difference between this white and this white. Look closely, folks. Can you see? I guess, you know what? Tell you what. Let's read it real quick. Thank you for coming in today. Based on your physical examination and reviewing your test results, urine, and ultrasounds. Oh, she got an ultrasound. Both from in our office and with outside providers, we can confirm that your pregnancy is viable and consistent with the date you provided of intercourse on June 30th or July 1st. A fetal heartbeat was detected. Since you took medical abortion pills, injury to the fetus is likely, but the extent of the damage is unknown at this point. Please seek care from an obstetrician going forward. She doesn't do that. I have followed up with Julie Ulrich, NP, regarding the call she had with you and the father of the child on July 16th. She noted that he came off as a potential domestic abuser and remarked on his seemingly controlling and dominating behavior. She said that she was concerned for your well-being and is happy to testify on your behalf. Please let us know. Okay, if any of this seemed real, and again, I know we have some medical people in the chat. Let me know. Sarah says this is fake. Sarah, this has to be real. What are you Sarah, what are you talking about? Are you kidding me? It's got a logo. It's got a logo, for gosh sakes. It's got somebody's face, even though this side is a little kind of cut off right here. It has to be real. This is real. How dare this comment section Carrie calling this fake? How dare you, cat lady? How dare you, ballerina said this is fake? How dare you, Mira, spying arts and crafts? You guys are all, I'm suing the comment section. All of you, class action comment section lawsuit. You're all getting sued. You lied. What are you doing, folks? Come on. Have a little faith here. It's an email. It's got to be real.
She lied?
I just took a DNA test.
All right, here it is.
Do you know Dave Neal?
Yeah, of course.
I love
He's amazing.
that man.
He's a king.
Yeah. Sorry, what was that? King Dave sues entire chat section. King Dave sues entire chat. All right, let's do this. While we're here, let's do this. Let's go to our forensic tool. So this forensic tool is real. And by the way, this was a PDF, which I've had to convert into a JPEG. So I'm telling you this right now. It's hard. I don't have any metadata of this file, right? So I can't tell based on colors, like what's what. But let's just do a little play here, right? Twisted Life says King podcaster Dave Neal.
Do you know Dave Neal?
Yeah, of course.
I love
He's
that
amazing.
man.
He's a king.
I solemnly wait, am I a king or a knight? Which one am I? We're getting a lot of king super chats here. Paul Barry, $2 says, I'm ceasing and desisting from super chats. Thank you so much. Izzy Go Boom, 10 Canadian dollars. I hate that I have to leave for an appointment. I look forward to watching the rest later. Thanks for all you do. I will sue you if you leave right now, Izzy. You will cease and desist that appointment. All right, let's continue. So here we have, again, this document. Now, from what we've seen with Adobe Acrobat, it appears as though literally everything could be adjusted here. But I don't know. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I don't know if IT Goatee's around. I don't want to, I just took a DNA test. Just making sure I'm not missing any chats here. So let's do this. I don't know because this was probably done in Adobe Acrobat. I don't know how to properly change this. My guess is like, what the hell is this? What did I just do? What the hell is that thing? Did you guys see that? Did you guys see that glow? What was that? Oh no. What did I just do? What is this? Does this mean it's fake? I don't know what this means. I don't know what this means, but let's go. Let's see. So minimal detail, block size. So I don't know what this. I don't know what I did. I just clicked on some. Let's look at the noise analysis. So noise analysis here will just show. Like if this was photoshopped, it would be much easier to see. Like very glaring issues, but because it's probably done with Adobe Acrobat, it probably doesn't have a lot of those issues. But one thing that I find interesting is this right here. So it looks all white, right? It looks all white. But when we go to the magnifier and really magnify here, we see the pixels that are color changes that exist where the text is. So I don't think that would exist. Again, it's tough here. There's different colors happening on the please. Why are there different colors happening on the please? Like, what is this all about? You know what I mean? Wing said that weird square symbol in the middle before was interesting. Yeah, what was that? You know what I mean? So again, I don't believe we're gonna see much fraud happening as far as like a simple like taking a word out. I think the whole thing is fake. That's my opinion, is that the whole thing is fake. So when you look at it, like now, of course, some of this is what I've redacted here. So let's go back to this. Now, what? Now, I don't. Gosh, it's tough. Metadata. There's literally no metadata. There's no metadata because I had to take. This was a PDF document, and a PDF pretty much takes away all the metadata. Anyway, the main reason why it appears fake is because here we have a lady named Lisa Daniels saying that she's happy to get someone to testify on her behalf. What? Yeah, so maybe I don't know. Maybe if I don't know if IT Goatee's around, but maybe we could get him to hop on. Let me ask if he's around. Actually, you know what I'll do is I'll just send him a quick email, and if he's around, he'll respond to it. I just took a DNA test.
I just took a DNA test.
And then here he is. Free for 10 minutes. All right, we'll see if he's around. I just sent him an email. All right. Let's continue. So that's the big piece of interesting sort of like documentation that we have here. There is a lot more we're going to get into, guys. So just please, again, don't forget, please buckle up. I'm just going to make sure we're good here for all of our. Okay, good. We're good. Okay, just trying to be safe, making sure we're safe here. All right, let's keep on going. Cat Lady said, I worked at a hospital and had to testify once. You don't just say, yeah, I'll testify. The state had to subpoena me and it went to legal and all of that. Oh, I am sure. I am sure. All right, well, let's continue. If Brad is around and does join us, we'll hang with him. We'll probably go for another 45 minutes, and then I'm going directly into the Patreon live stream, and I'm going to continue with that. So again, this is our only piece of content for the day. So I do appreciate all of those that have stuck with us. I'm going to check and see. We're probably already demonetized. These things get demonetized like legit right away. No, we're technically still monetized, but what happens is usually what happens is this changes to demonetized as soon as the live stream ends, which means anyone who doesn't watch this live, anyway, look, it's not a big deal. I'm just saying that because it's one of those things, like, you know, it's a heavy conversation. All right, so looks like actually, look, we have very excited here. We've got Brad. Hey, how are you, my guy?
Good. How are you?
Good. Were you in the live stream perchance?
I was just catching up from the beginning. So,
all right. So what I wanted to share with you is, let's go to it right now, is that we have been going through a lot of the Greg Gillespie emails that we received.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a new email that looks to be with fabricated medical information in it. So let me just pull this up right here. The new email is right here. And in this email, essentially it's just an attachment. We don't have to reread the whole email, but it's an attachment which I wanted to share with you from a medical provider right here who says her name's Lisa Daniels. And again, this was way back in August 13th, 2021. And she basically says that they are concerned for Jane Doe's well-being and they're happy to testify on her behalf. So I've got this document, and maybe it's not, I don't know, I can send it to you, but what this document only existed in this PDF right here. So I had to change it to JPEG, which kind of like takes off all of the, metadata. But I didn't know if there's anything with this document you could look at to see how fake it is.
With a PDF, it's going to be a little bit harder. We know that she has a professional version of Adobe Acrobat, and that she's really good at being able to take entire blocks of text and just rewrite it. I would say that there is a pretty good likelihood that if you think about the, Sutter Medical documents that she had,
yep,
those ones used very similar language that would be, not be excuse me, language no, I was just eating, so
thanks for joining us.
The language that a medical provider would use would be not this kind of language. And for a medical provider to say, "Oh, I will absolutely testify on your behalf," that's not for the provider to do. That would be for their legal team to then get involved with. So for someone to just go and say, "Yeah, I'll do this for you," is
it's very generous.
Yeah, generous would
especially
be
in a legal document. It's one thing to say it on a flight on a bar napkin. It's another to say this from your place of work.
Yeah.
So what's going on with this though? This photo of Lisa, very cute, nice lady here. It's cut off on the right and the bottom. That's odd, right?
Not necessarily. It depends on, because if they upload a photo, I mean the flat edge on the one side, because if you're taking a photo and you're grabbing a circular image of it, you wouldn't just have a flat edge on it like that. Every time like my work gets an image of something, it's generally a more perfect circle. So
yeah, and like you said about this being Adobe, she could have taken any of these fonts and just recreated them. So you don't think that anything will be shown from
no,
this clone detection tool. What's going on here? Like, are they just trying to see patterns? Like, this isn't.
Yeah, they're trying to find, like, is this portion of a photo just copied to the other side? But with a letter, a letter is a letter. You're not really going to get much of anything.
All right, so we're not going to be able to. I mean, unlike what we found with the ultrasound, which had clear,
right,
jarring information, we're basically looking at. And by the way, I mean, knowing what we know about Adobe Acrobat now, it makes it so brazen and so obvious how easy it is to do this.
Yep.
If they don't, come down on people that are doing this right now, it is going to be so easy to recreate medical documents and just fire them off to your, not that people would do this, but it's just scary out there.
That's why medical providers generally have very stringent requirements to hold documents for X number of years. Generally, it basically means you hold it on for life, because you don't want to get rid of some kind of medical document and then find out, oh, well, he had some kind of allergy that was displayed on this document, and then come to find out, oh, nope, can't. He doesn't have it anymore, and then he dies, and it's like, oh, well, you had the record, but why did you delete it?
Oh yeah, so, with as litigious as our country is with medical malpractice and things like that, you need to have impeccable. But it's kind of like, I mean, the crime is kind of like fake currency. Like it's kind of like the same crime here. It's like, what can you do on your medical documents to timestamp to stamp them so that they won't be duplicated? I guess you just don't expect simple correspondence in a portal to be manipulated this way. My guess is you go to One Medical, she gets a test that's says an HCG test or whatever the hell, and then the rest is complete fan fiction. That's my guess.
Yeah, highly likely.
Because my guess is this was a real screen grab from a real email from them. I don't think she copy and pasted all of this and did all this crazy work.
No.
I think that's the way you make a good lie, is that you have part of the lie being the truth. The truth here being pretty much everything on the top quarter of this. Okay, we got our time email, this and that, and then the fan fiction, like we saw. I mean, look, she's a pro at this point, right? Because she was doing this with Mike Maricini with the ovary, the vanishing ovaries. She was doing this years earlier. All she had to do was dust up her Adobe, download the new version, and so anyway, so you're saying none of this, like where you see the pixels drop off here?
I don't take that for anything.
Yeah. All right. Well, no smoking gun, other than, of course,
the language. The language is what gives it away.
Yeah. Because you can Photoshop all you want. I mean, look, talking about the fact that she took one birth, she took the plan B, which killed one of the fetuses, and now the other one's going to be injured. I mean, it's just bananas, just banana land.
Yeah, because providers don't, whenever they track a pregnancy, they don't say it's consistent with the date of intercourse of a particular day.
Right.
That's not practice from any OBGYN.
It's last menstrual cycle. So another glaring issue, which again, if you're going to perpetuate this hoax on men, we're not in the, we're not going to the gynecologist and learning all these terms. So it does sound really smart. Until you get an audience of bad bitches like the 1,200 people in the chat right now going, nope, not going to happen. LB right here left a comment, said she worked in the medical field and nobody wants to testify or be subpoenaed. It's our worst nightmare. No doctor is going to offer to testify. So anyhow, I don't think I've got any other medical stuff other than I'll be sharing some of the police report texts. But again, these are all real, like these 77 pages. I'm sure you guys saw most of these. I'm just going to go through a few of them, but right now we're just working through the motive that, the whole idea of what's going on is her attorney going, what's the motive? You can't prove a motive. Well, with Greg, at least, she wanted $45,000 punitive. And then as I'm going to share in the document, she bumped that number up to 90,000. So maybe she did think she was going to make a quick 90K. Who knows? And also, could she have made, honestly, there could be 5 guys that paid the $40,000. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But the one problem is that if I remember correctly, $50,000, I think, is the usual limit before it gets bumped up to like a federal case.
Interesting.
So trying to keep it below that number to keep it in a state district court would be, but if she tries to bump it up to 90, I just don't see that, going through.
Oh, interesting here. So as you had said before, one of the ways to look at the fraud here would be that the actual writing she's doing. So Alex says, you can tell the doctor letter is fake because of the number of spaces used after a period. JD puts 2. That's not so common. Yeah, I'm a big 2-space person, but anyhow, that's just another piece of evidence right there. The old double spacer. All right. Well, I'm going to probably do this for another few minutes and then hop on the Patreon. But I appreciate your flying in here mid lunch to check this out. And anything going on with you worth noting?
Nothing big for me. I was on Meg's stream that you brought up earlier, so that was a lot of fun. Yeah,
I was kind of watching while I was working out, so I didn't want to pop in. I was like, I need to go get some alone time, and the next thing you know, I'm watching a stream, about the same stuff. But yeah, I don't know if you caught this, but someone had brought up here that that I mentioned Meg's video on Patreon, and then within half an hour of me mentioning it is when Meg got the email from Jane Doe. So chances are Jane Doe still is happily supporting our private community, which we always appreciate. The other thing I did in this video today is I got us all to share with Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly is now covering Baby Reindeer, and not the same, but similar in the sense that Baby Reindeer, obviously the guy wasn't being taken seriously as a male victim. And I hate to play that gender card, but we're trying to do whatever we can to get somebody to cover this. And if right-leaning media is the only person who wants to cover it, well, so be it. Take that up with your favorite media companies for not covering this story. But who knows? It's not too late. I think the next few weeks there might be some added attention. I'm getting a lot of requests from true crime podcasts, and a lot of people are starting to talk. So it appears as though the tipping point is happening right now. So it's all thanks to folks like you that are helping share your expertise.
Mm-hmm. Did you happen to catch Megan's stream before yours?
Today?
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't. No, I was changing diapers.
So I want to say like 15 minutes or half hour in, she debuted a new song called "Do You Want a Phone Call?" and it's done in the style of "Do You Want to Build a Snowman" from Frozen.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Get the kids involved.
It's a great song, so go check that out.
All right,
if you haven't.
Yeah, I'll check that out. I'll catch your live stream. It's been a minute. I need to jump back on over there. It took me so long to get all these emails in one place because I've got like 50. I got like 15 or 20 different emails, and they're all aggressively long. These emails that I'm going through right now.
Oh, yeah.
But, let me barrel through these. But dude, thanks so much for jumping on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, Brad. Everybody, that was awesome. Always good to get the an expert eye on the email. And again, I've got 1,100 people in the chat, so it's good to just show you guys what's going on over there. Anyhow, so we covered this. So this is where we ended up. This was her sending her medical evidence to Greg. We don't believe it's real. And then now we continue Friday the 20th, a week later. Hi, Greg. I don't know if you have gotten my emails, but like the court said, I've needed to make every effort to contact you before filing for alternative service, which should be approved today. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know that I just got back from the obstetricians and am indeed pregnant with a baby that has grown. It didn't grow by much, which isn't a great thing in terms of how healthy he or she will be. But the fact that there was growth at all means that it is still viable. The doctor said that she would be very surprised if there wasn't some sort of deformity or abnormality considering the abortion pills. It's a lot to take on, but I feel morally obligated to continue with the pregnancy if my promise to you to terminate it for your beliefs is no longer valid. I would feel guilty for doing that if God wants the baby to be born. All right. As a good Catholic, Jane Doe brings God into it. Considering that I haven't heard from you at all about keeping your promises to me, I'm going to presume you just selfishly made up whatever you could to get me to take the pills with no intention of keeping your word. That has left me absolutely devastated and will more than likely mean a more difficult life for our baby. To be honest, I'm actually really surprised and stunned that it didn't work. I expected to go today and be told that the abortion was successful. So she does these things where she sends like cutting threats and then just like chit chats. But you know that whether or not the pregnancy was still active doesn't have anything to do with why I filed for this. Regardless of my results today, I still would have felt the same. You manipulated me into taking abortion pills to get your way, even though you didn't plan to keep your promises at all. So she claims one baby is left alive. And because one's left alive, we could still date. Given today and the challenges that I'm guessing we would experience over the next 18 years and beyond, I wanted to ask you one more time if you wanted to date. Do you want to date? One more time. If that were the case, I would also keep my promise to you and not have the child. So she's still threatening to get rid of the baby. I obviously would drop the lawsuit. I would not feel as guilty doing the surgical abortion if I knew it were actually because of a joint decision made with good intentions. It might seem ridiculous that I would even consider dating after this legal ordeal, but you know that what you did with lying and ghosting on me was completely inexcusable. And like I've said, I would never have pursued this if it weren't for the fact that I was absolutely positive that the child was yours. Today really changed everything because I realized that this is going to change my life dramatically. And even if you don't want any sort of custody, I would definitely file for child support, especially since whatever the abortion pills caused would mean more money in medical expenses. Unlike you did this with me, you can't ghost a lawsuit or financial responsibilities for a baby. The government will garnish your wages if you don't pay it. So at least I wouldn't be accountable for everything. I will have to contact your family for a DNA test soon
I just took a DNA test.
so that I can file for prenatal child support. I am so upset. You can text me if you change your mind on what you want to do. Signed, all the best. Oh boy, that was Friday, August 20th. Now we have Saturday, August 21st. Good golly, my eyes are gone. Guys, what is this? John said Dave is just so awesome at this. Well, you know, I do think this is kind of like my home field advantage. I do believe she brought this case into the wrong mother effer. Not just me, but the community. Mommy Breakdown with $2 says comedian to recapper to journalist and now tech. Truthfully, the jump between comedian to recapper to journalist really is the path of a king.
Do you know Dave Neal?
Yeah, of course.
I love
He's
that
amazing.
man.
He's a king.
Sarah, $50 says, I'm on the belief that every document she has sent as proof to anyone for anything, especially medical, is fabricated. Just my opinion. Thanks for killing it as always, Dave. Yeah, I believe the only real things are HCG tests. And that's the only thing she's willing to give her banner security login for. She did test positive for HCG. That's why, you know, look, if she was calling my bluff right now, she would give me the login information for her one medical portal. But she's not going to do that. Why? Because we believe it's all fabricated. We believe it's all a lie. And that's why she ain't going to do it.
And she lied.
She goes, oh, I'll send you whatever you need as long as it's part of my banner health. But whoa, why won't you send us your login information for one medical? Why wouldn't you do that? Why you not do that? All right, can you guys read that? No, kidding. All right, so let's take a look at this. I know it's a lot. So this is Saturday afternoon, 1:47 p.m. I've been talking with the attorney, Joe Cotchett, this week, aka Uncle Jodo Bird. He has said that I would be foolish not to file for punitive damages in addition to the $45K in compensatory damages for tort. I'm not planning to file for criminal charges at this point because punitive damages are a better fit for your actions. Punitive damages mean that someone acted with an evil hand and an evil mind. No shite. The purposes are to punish someone for outrageous behavior and to motivate them not to do it again. I would also have to prove that you intentionally caused harm and acted maliciously. I've given you countless opportunities to prove that your behavior was because of stress and that you actually wanted. So it goes on and on and on. She said, in addition, you intentionally harmed the fetuses. I need to confirm. All right, so remember when she said she never claimed she was pregnant with twins? Here she is again, calling them fetuses, plural. I need to confirm that I was indeed pregnant with twins and only one survived. With no regard for human life. You knew that abortion pills did not have a 100% success rate, and I told you that I wanted to keep the pregnancy so many times. Since A, it didn't work, and B, you've not only rescinded on your promise, you've shown no respect for me and your likely physical or mental compromised child, whether that be to have a surgical abortion or to raise it, you've made no effort to right this wrong and clearly don't care about causing harm. The process server mentioned that he thought you had female company over the first time that you were served. Oh, the process server is snitching. If you were dating at this time, when I specifically said that if you had any desire to date other women, I completely understood, but allow me to make my own decision. That adds even more evidence for punitive damages. If you're dating another woman, that's more punitive damage? What? If you begin dating soon after the abortion, right after you asked me to go to Sedona with you and have this great fresh start, that further proves my case. I gave you every opportunity to not have anything to do with this and allow me to raise the child, yet you chose to force me to have this abortion. I asked you many times how long you would give the relationship after the abortion to see if it worked out. I said if it was a matter of weeks or months, I was not interested in making the biggest decision of my life for you. You said that you had every intention of doing this the right way, but that our future couldn't start without an abortion. That convinced me to do it. All right, it goes on and on. On September 29th, a new law is going into effect that says that you won't be able to abort a child with genetic abnormalities or Down syndrome, which I was told could be a possibility. Even though that's way past when I would consider having a surgical abortion, it proves that the state sides with me and believes that you shouldn't stop a pregnancy if you know there might be problems. By the way, that's the most counterintuitive thing I've ever heard in my life. Had you just allowed me to keep the pregnancy, I most likely would have had a healthy one. Now I don't, and that's going to change both of our lives tremendously. So she's blaming him for the injuries to her baby. By the way, I don't believe a failed plan B would cause Down syndrome. That's a chromosomal issue. What the hell? Your chromosomes don't change. Okay. Wow. That's why I have said so many times that if you wanted to prove that you made a mistake and have avoided contact up to this point, but plan to be the man I thought you were when I made the decision, I would proceed with a surgical abortion. I'm not sure. I'm sure that you're asking yourself how I would want to date you after and why you would. My point in all of this is to show you how seriously I took your words and the lives you've affected. Had you actually meant that you wanted to spend time getting to know each other, this never would have happened. She's blaming him. Your actions caused all of this. The likely loss of one child, the likely physical and or mentally compromised baby, the lawsuit, and the emotional nightmare that you knew I would have. My actions haven't caused anything. I've just asked for you to be accountable, and with every unanswered message or avoidance of the process server, you further prove that I'm more than entitled to compensation. All right, the price is about to go up. If I don't get an apology, and if you don't show that you meant what you said about wanting a relationship with me, I will not be having a surgical abortion and will be filing for punitive damages for $75,000. If you don't have that, the government will garnish your wages and or put a lien on your house. Now, she did get the government to garnish the wages of her contractor, Sean, and I believe it cost him upwards of 6 figures. This being a man who is raising, I believe, his niece who has cancer. Completely different story. Again, this has nothing to do with me wanting your money and everything. Well, whether she says she wants his money or not, she's asking for it, and to do with you being accountable for the lives you have selfishly destroyed. And like I've said in this email, if you intend to move forward with your promise to me, I will file for dismissal of the lawsuit with prejudice, meaning that I will say I was wrong about your intentions and be prevented from suing you again. I'm not asking for an engagement. I'm asking for you to prove that you intend to date with the intention to move down that path. Yikes. The only reason I'm open to this at this point, and by the way, this is all after a one-night stand, sex that he claims they used safe sex and contraceptive devices. She said, I don't know which guy you are, the accountable guy I thought you were, the one who acted with an evil mind, but I know which one I hope you are. This lawsuit comes down to nothing more than if you're a man of your word, it's your choice. I also have legally admissible proof that you have read messages regarding the impact this has had on me and that I have given you many attempts to disprove my case. Okay, that being that she has trackers on her emails. With every unanswered but legally proven to be read email, you are still showing malicious intent, knowing the damage that you have caused. The attorney said that blocking me everywhere is actually a good thing for me and a bad thing for you. What attorney? Proving in so many ways that you didn't mean what you said you wanted. You can text me if you want to be that good person I thought you were originally, and we can move forward as the couple that you told me you wanted us to be. Otherwise, you can expect an additional lawsuit for punitive damages next week. You can't be angry about a lawsuit that has come from what were presumable lies at this point. If you have integrity, it's dropped. It comes down to that. I hope I'm wrong and can be the one to apologize for not believing you when I should have. Date or I sue you. Amber Rose said, what is the email address again? The email that we are sending our media submissions to is Megan@megankelly.com. Make sure you get that Y in there. Send them also to media inquiries, media@devilmaycaremedia.com. Alex said, poor Greg, Jesus. Marilyn said he came on her back. Well, back babies happen, right? They do call it back labor. So maybe I don't know, maybe she had an open cut in her back. I don't know what could have happened. Where did we leave off? So here's where we left off. I got to speed this up, folks. I got a podcast I got to go make. So if you haven't already and want to join the Patreon, I will be live on Patreon right after this, patreon.com/Dave Neal. I'll be honest right now. Patreon has been our best defense. It's been our best defense of the truth, because you guys have put your money where your mouths are, and that really makes a difference. I mean, honestly, the fact that we have an incentive to cover this lunacy has been really helpful. All right. Well, she sent that email on Saturday, August 21st. Clearly, that was the last email she would have ever sent, right? Nope. Next day, Sunday, August 22nd. Hi, Greg. I wanted to make sure that you got a chance to read the email I sent yesterday. We're reading it. It's 2024. I would still get a surgical abortion this week. Okay, Jane Doe, get over it. He's not into you. I would still get a surgical abortion this week and drop the case if you choose to pursue the relationship you claim to want with me. Otherwise, if I don't hear from you, I will presume that you want me to move forward with the lawsuits and file for the punitive damages and child support tomorrow. Like I wrote before, my attorney would be one of the top trial attorneys in the country. I am worrying about serving you for those cases and have decided that the best route for the new lawsuits is to serve you at work, which I told you I wanted to avoid. In order to give you a heads up, here's a copy of the email I will be sending. So she sends a copy of the email she's going to be sending. Hi, my name's Jane Doe, and I've had a process server to try to serve Greg 3 times with a lawsuit. For the specific case, I will be able to serve him by alternative means, a sign on his home. I am pursuing other charges in civil and family court that will need to have him served for. I'm not sure if he is still on partial leave for his COVID and wanted to confirm that I will be okay for my process server to serve him for the other cases at the showroom if he is back to working there. I apologize for asking to do that as I don't want to draw attention to the issue. But among other things, he is being asked to take accountability for paternity. Okay, so it is now Sunday, Bloody Sunday, where she's getting the his job involved. I hope you understand that I don't want to cause your company any inconvenience. And if he is still working at home because of having COVID, I will figure out another way to serve him. Thank you. All the best, Jane Doe. All right, well. Obviously, that's the last of her emails. Because, you'd have to be an absolute psychopath to continue sending emails. So that's going to wrap it up for us today. Wait, what? There's more? Hold on. Oh my gosh. There's another one. So later on Sunday, Jesus Christ. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm good at what I do. Oh, send me a super chat if you agree. Or no, it's fine. From Jane Doe to Greg, 7 p.m. Sunday. So she sent the last one at noon on Sunday. Hey, I mean, look, guys, she gave him 7 hours. What do you want to do? Oh, hold on. Vegana has a tip here. Vegana says she's on the letter. Okay, so let's jump over this. We'll come back to that. Vegana says, I'm on the letter from One Medical. She's on the Get Help page, not the messages page. Smoking gun. Oh, you're saying she's on the Get Care page and not the messages. Oh, how funny. Do you guys agree? Is this fraudulent here? Dan said, got me, Dave. 5 hours later. But wait, there's more.
Do you know Dave Neal?
Yeah, of course.
I love
He's
that
amazing.
man.
He's a king.
I've won a participation trophy for best podcast. Oh, don't F with us. All right, let's continue. But yeah, that's very interesting stuff right there. Vegana, really, I mean, great work. Great work there. Oh, Tammy says, my first super chat to you. You are awesome. Oh, thanks, Tammy. Appreciate you. I'll sue you if you know. Okay. And then Tiffany with $5 says posted email, text on Patreon. Oh, thank you so much. And okay, so thank you so much. So Tiffany posted the email, Megan Kelly email on Patreon, which will be great because that's of course where Jane Doe is as well. All right, let's continue. So we're getting to the last of the emails. Here it is. 7 p.m. Hi, Greg. Even though you texted me about wanting to get together tomorrow, your lack of response for hours after many questions from me clearly indicates that you don't want to have the relationship that you claim to want so bad before you push me to take the abortion pills. I was specific in my last email to only contact me if you wanted to have that with me. I'm not sure why you would have written to me just to meet up and discuss things, but I feel like I'm being played, ghosted, and disrespected. So it goes on and on. You're getting sued because you lied. You're getting sued. You're getting sued because you lied at the expense of harming me in your own flesh and blood to get what you wanted, not because you wanted a relationship with me, like you said. Every single time I asked if you were sure, you kept telling me that I was the one who kept changing my mind and that you were steadfast in your feelings for me and wanting something serious. Then you make fun of me and call me crazy for believing you. The position we're in is not my fault and the last place I wanted to be in right now. I don't need to be with someone who doesn't want to be with me or who is with me for a short term to prevent a lawsuit, but hates and resents me only to crush me again and laugh at me for being stupid and crazy enough to think you'd want to be with me after filing a lawsuit against you. I mean, she's going to kill me. I'm out of breath. You have no one to be angry with other than yourself for this. And if you read back your text to me, it comes off like I was crazy not to believe you. I could care less about getting your money. I've decided that I would donate all of it to Planned Parenthood in hopes of them giving patients full-on counseling sessions before getting pills or having surgery. That would be a huge step up from the current questions they ask to see if there is a coercive dynamic in a relationship. Maybe the purpose of me going through this is to raise awareness for that. Who knows? Regardless, I have no reason to hold off on sending the letter to your company to try to reach you since you're unresponsive 99% of the time. She said, I have no reason to hold off on sending. Once they respond about whether or not you're going into the office because of COVID, I can ask whoever in the company responds if one of your local coworkers can just print out the documents and serve you in person. Anyone can except for me, and at least I would know that they went to the right place and that you got them. That was a suggestion from my process server, and I think that might be easiest. I will also officially hire my attorney tomorrow as well for the punitive lawsuit. She hasn't even hired her attorney yet. She then continues, I'm not a bitch for doing this, nor am I worth hating or resenting. If anything, I couldn't have made a more selfless decision on or a bigger sacrifice in the world for you. And you chose to portray me as crazy and disgusting less than 24 hours after you told me that you promised you would support me, not leave me, and how much you wanted it to be a great future with me. Again, I'm offering to keep my word for you. Make this same sacrifice for you and have a surgical abortion, which carries its own risk for your own health, and drop all of this if you just stick to what you said. If not, I will proceed with the pregnancy. I haven't changed my mind. You knew how I felt. Today's text proved to me that I would not be smart to trust you in your word. I don't want you to grudgingly pretend to have a relationship with me when you don't like me just to avoid all of this. If your intentions with me were to bail on me after the abortion, you should take responsibility for the repercussions they have caused and own up to it in court. I would respect you more for that than if you pretended to want to be with me and then exploded later on. Do not contact me if you don't really want a relationship with me. You wouldn't. But by the way, these are different emails. I know it feels like I'm sharing the same emails over and over. These are different emails. Final offer. If you're still that great guy at heart and have anxiety over this, I can move forward. You can call me a psychopath for wanting a serious relationship. They are. But you claimed you wanted that too, and I have many texts to prove it. If you still do, let me know. If you're going to ghost me again and don't feel that I'm the one that you want to do this the right way with, leave me alone and I'll move full steam ahead with this. Wow. Oh my gosh. So we're going to backtrack a few here. So we go back to Thursday, August 19th. This is actually the law offices that Greg got that are emailing Jane. Jane, please see below. Joe's secretary informed me that we had actually received the medical authorizations from you. Wait. Oh, excuse me. This is the email from Allison Cordova saying the next step is to fill the retention agreement. There were no past pregnancies on your record. So here's where it gets interesting. Jane Doe claims she had never been pregnant before. Now in court, she claims she was pregnant with Matt and Mike before Greg. So this is an email allegedly from Allison Cordova, although who's CMP Legal? I don't even know who this is. I don't know if that's the right email, saying everything you told us about pregnancy tests and ultrasounds aligned with the timing you provided us. There was no past pregnancies on your record, and the 3 obstetricians you saw felt that pregnancy was very consistent with intercourse that took place between June 30th and July 1st. They have also said that the abortion pills will play a big role in your child's development. It must feel like you have the weight of the world on you, but I have no doubt that the jury will sympathize with your situation. That's Allison Cordova. Who the hell is Allison Cordova? Now, again, this is at Joe Koch at Law, aka Uncle Jodo Bird. All right, so this is that email. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it was sent in the body of the email, so I have no idea. I have no idea who I don't know why it says sent from Allison Cordova, but it doesn't share Allison Cordova's email. Like, what does that mean? Does that mean anything? Tasha Tango says that's more arts and crafts. Legal Vices. Hey, how are you, my guy? The abortion pills will play a significant role in your child's development. What the hell does that even mean? Oh, Legal Vices. Don't you pretend to make sense out of this. What's it supposed to mean? How dare you? How dare you try to find out what it's supposed to mean? Good to see you. I'm back. I'm back in action if you ever need me. Anyway, now we have Uncle Joe. Again, these were emails, I guess, in the thread from Jane Doe. From Joe Cotchett, Sunday, August 22nd, 7:42 p.m. So Uncle Joe is sending emails to Jane Doe at the same time that she's emailing what's his face. So her email to Greg Gillespie was at 7:06 p.m. So she fires off this email to Greg Gillespie, and then next thing you know, she's receiving emails from Uncle Joe Dobird. Jane, what's the update? I'm ready to get started on this the second you give me the go-ahead. As much as I want this guy to be exactly the man he's told you that he is, I'm not convinced that he is. I'm always here for you in the whole Jane Doe family. Whenever you need me, and if you want me to go after this guy, I will make this case a top priority. Shh. Are you buckled up, guys? Are you buckled up? Did you guys get buckled here? Are you buckled? Because this is the same that we're receiving from Chase J. Jones. It's the same that we're receiving from Jane Doe. Layla goes, Dave's pissed. What made you feel that way, huh? What made you feel that way? Just making sure we're all buckled here for the car ride. It's going to get bumpy. Kids, I'll turn this car right around. You kidding me right now? This being from a prestigious attorney who, by the way, let me show you. She actually sends this to Greg Gillespie. She sends this to, you got to buckle up. Don't be, no one's getting it. No one on my watch. I will not let anybody on my watch deal with any sort of slippage of the seatbelt. You pull that baby tight. I don't want to see that. You get that so tight. Look how tight that is. Just for a little tiny little leg. Get in there and just buckle that up. Okay. So anyhow, she sends this, which is just to show that her dad is friends with Joe Cotchett. Oh, my dad's friends with a lawyer, and he's going to sue you for tort. Because I'm really sure that this lawyer just is really just crushing it. Now, if this lawyer had any sort of desire for the truth and to not have his name be used, he would do something to stop this. Because there's no way, in my opinion, there is no way that this is an adult lawyer. Come on. Come on, guys. Right? Allison sent me over the retention agreement and medical files. Every test result that came into our office matched what you said. Really? You have an easy open and shut case. This guy has nothing going his way here, and I think this could provide for a real landmark case of abortion coercion. This may be very needy, and we could make this a public interest story with the snap of a finger. However, in your interest, we could also just follow the judgment immediately so that you could start receiving money immediately. Money immediately. Money immediately. Money immediately. Money immediately. Money. Sorry, I got stuck. Again, not to brag, but we are just crushing this.
Do you know Dave Neal?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course we do. And now she does.
Do you know Dave Neal?
Yeah, of course.
I love
He's amazing.
that man.
He's a king.
Oh, hell. Okay. Remember, any man would feel like the luckiest man alive. to have you by his side. You were polite, kind, and thoughtful as a little girl, and those qualities got even better as you got older. You got a tight ass. What? It's like, can you imagine? You got them tight ass, and boy, do you look good in a pair of horse frocks or whatever. Regardless of what happens, I am by your side. I mean, honestly, that's how it reads, right? So again, another one from Uncle Jodo Bird with no email here. No email here. No email here. Oh, someone said they need to get a helmet. So I don't have a helmet on me, but boy, I really should have a helmet just to buckle up. All right, so he continues. That now we have an email from Jane Doe sharing what she sent her lawyer friend. Again, this is all just text that's within an email. Like there's no real blueprint here that it came from him. Hi, Uncle Joe, Uncle Jodo Bird. Bruce said hard hat Dave. I should get a hard hat. Should I get a hard hat with a crown on it? Do I have to go out to Lowe's today? First of all, should I look like Bob the Builder? First of all, I hope you had, I really should get, let's see. If we could just go on Amazon here. I really should buy a male adult king crown. Let's see what we can get for an adult king crown here. Maybe or you know what I need is a scepter. If we could just get like a scepter. Is this something we could do? Could we do it? What are we? Let's see. King crown and scepter. Yeah, look, you're not a king if you don't have a scepter. This blue actually looks really nice. Anderson's Royal Blue Satin Crown. That's actually pretty expensive. I kind of feel like if we get a crown and some sort of cape, we could maybe do this with a nice scepter. What do you guys think? Maybe a old school king, with the sort of the bear skin, maybe a bear skin king. Anyway, Bruce said, I am not wearing a jester costume. No, Bruce, you don't have to be the jester. You can be like the cool guy that drinks and like laughs at all my jokes. The kings have the guys that just laugh at the jokes, even if they're not funny. I could really use one of them. All right, let's continue this very serious conversation. Hi, Uncle Joe. So this was on Sunday, August 22nd. After that, so again, more just real hard conversations. Hi, Uncle Joe. First of all, I hope you had a great weekend and that the smoke didn't get as bad on the peninsula as you thought it would. I miss our dinners and hope you get out here soon. Although I've yet to find another House of Prime Rib, so lower your standards for now. Again, thank you so much for the enormous help you've been in the sad situation that I am in. Here's where I am at. After many emails, I heard from Greg this morning. He wanted to discuss things tomorrow at 7 p.m. I was surprised, but certainly wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt since all I have wanted is for him to keep his word. Since his initial message, I have sent more messages that I know he has read and they have been left unresponded to. As much as I want to give him more and more chances, I don't think he wants them. I think the best call is to pursue an alternative service and try to get him twice. Once by posting on his house door and the other by calling his company and finding a coworker to serve him. I think you're right that you would be better at making those phone calls than me. I texted you the coworkers who we could ask to serve. Once that happens, we can file for the punitive damages like you recommended. I really do stand firm in staying under $100,000 in punitive damage, but I guess it also depends on the damage to the child. Although, wouldn't that also be covered in family court? I will think about what you said about trying to go for a settlement straight out of the box. I didn't want to play this nasty. Honestly, I just wish this never happened and that we could just be happy like he said we could be. Here's hoping he proves us wrong. I'm giving him one more chance. Settlement straight out of the box. 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 There's just no motivation here. There's just no motivation. All right. Well, like I said, that's all we have for emails. So I guess that's going to be it for us. Everyone have a good day. Nope, we got one more. Nope, actually, hold on a second. What's this? Oh my gosh. She wrote a very short email. Do you guys want me to read the very short email she wrote? Let me know. Leave a comment right now. Does anyone want to see the very short email that she wrote? I guess you guys don't want to see it. All right. Well, in that case, I guess we are going to be dismissed. That's going to be it for us today. Oh, you do want to? Okay. Oh, now the yeses are coming in. All right. Here's the very short. Oh my gosh. There it is. Oh boy. Oh boy. Monday. Who's got a case of the Mondays? Who's got a case of the Mondays? Remember that song Monday Morning Blues from our podcast?
Monday morning rolling in, feeling low and kind of blue. Gotta drag myself out of bed just like I always do. But there's one thing that gets me through.
Yo.
So gotta listen to this. I'm plugging my earbuds, blasting tunes. It's the Rush Hour Podcast Bliss. I hear the host crack a joke, making me smile and forget about the work that's waiting on this Monday.
All right, if you haven't already, subscribe to the podcast. I will be giving some unique information on the podcast only right down there today. I will be following up this conversation we're having with some unique, never else heard information regarding what's going down with possible motives and whatnot. We're going to get into that, but I need you to go over to the Rush Hour Podcast because we have to diversify. Because you know what they could do? They could shut down this channel. We saw Umbrella Guy. We've seen people's streams get taken down. We're not going to do it. We're going to continue to diversify and have equal parts Patreon or Rush Hour Podcast and over here. So thank you guys in advance. By the way, I mean, I have to say, we kind of go in and out here. I'm just going to show you this real quick. We go in and out here on Rush Hour Podcast. But earlier this week, we were in the top 250 all the way up to top 186 in society and culture, which is huge. We are back to being out right now, which is okay. But we will be back if you guys hit the subscribe button. Rankings on the podcast are due primarily to new subscriptions. So thank you in advance for everyone who, has been supporting us over there. It's called the Rush Hour. All right, let's keep this conversation going. So we just shared this, and now we're going to go to the next email. This was the final email she sent Sunday night to Greg Gillespie showing, I'm talking to Uncle Joe. And now we've got the response. Monday, again, from her. Criminal DV charges to be filed in the AM unless integrity is shown. Oh my gosh. I'm filing charges unless integrity is shown. What the hell is she talking about? I've been advised by the Maricopa County Law Library Resource Center. Oh, she's going to the library. That's good. Tax dollars by the lawyer I intend to hire to contact you directly rather than the attorney you selected, since this message is not related to the civil lawsuit. All right, so she's not contacting his lawyer because this is not related to the civil lawsuit. It is in regard to the police report I plan to file since I haven't heard from you regarding your intentions behind the text messages you sent me yesterday afternoon. I've been told to file the criminal case before the civil one, so I'm not sure how you want to proceed with your current representation because I'm guessing you will want to hire a different attorney for that. If so, please let me know how to serve you. I wrote in my texts and emails to let you know if my legal counsel is wrong in thinking that they were sent with malicious intent. I have not heard otherwise, and because of the questionable circumstances of meeting up, I will be going forward with filing the report. I'm attaching 77 pages of text messages. In many of them, you, of course, abortion and misrepresented yourself, which I will send to the police to establish your character. It is extremely clear that I did not want to have an abortion and was only doing it for you in the future you chimed in. By the way, in hindsight, we can look at this and just know they have ruled that there was no damage done by either party with emotional distress due to an abortion coercion. They basically ruled that doesn't exist. Spoiler, that's what happened. I'm attaching, so I've gathered the information needed for the police report and will be filing it unless I hear from you tonight, explaining your motive in texting me yesterday afternoon to get together, then having an attorney contact me this morning. They contradict each other. It's manipulative of you to not have just told me yesterday what your motive was. You know what it was, and it would take you 10 seconds to explain. Instead, the message is conveyed in ominous tone, and you haven't denied that you had malicious plans. Hence, I feel like I need to contact the police to add that to my report. The email represents your last chance to avoid criminal charges. If you were to keep your many promises, then I would not report your messages as being threatening and intimidating. However, if you were sending those messages, the physical and emotional impact that your absence would have on multiple lives, you are absolutely guilty, and which can try it as a felony. So it goes on and on. Finally, this is the last week I would consider having a surgical abortion. Oh, give it up with the surgical abortion, which I made an appointment for. It is not what I want to do, but I know that I have done damage to the pregnancy already by taking the abortion pills and would do it with your support in order to prevent him or her from coming into this world with some sort of deformity or disability. If not, I am going to continue with the pregnancy on my own and would like to know which attorney should be contacted for this family law matter. I'm not giving you any more chances to show that you are a good guy, and I'm not going to operate on your timetable anymore. I have plenty of evidence to include in my police report, like the attachment below, unless you tell me otherwise. These 77 pages are obvious proof of emotional abuse, manipulation, threats, and intimidation, all of which constitute domestic abuse. Please contact me via text messages tonight if you have chosen to stand by your word and want me to drop the charges. If not, I will take that to mean that you are indeed accepting the charges of fraud. Oh, no. If you do not respond to me, I'll accept that. That means you accept the charges of fraud, intimidation, threats, and DV, and we'll take legal action accordingly. You have had weeks to show or tell me otherwise. This is the last time I will offer you any opportunity to have a say in the outcome of the pregnancy. There is a pregnancy involved, and the baby doesn't deserve to have their outcome decided on your extremely inconsistent, infrequent communication. What the hell? If you don't respond, you're guilty. That's essentially what she's saying. Now, look, that's it. That's it. Psych! So then she emails the attorney. Hi again, Miss Bowman. This is Greg's attorney. I was advised informally by a lawyer to pursue criminal and DV charges against Mr. Gillespie before the civil proceedings. On the advice of the Maricopa County Law, so essentially it's a lot of the same thing. She's forwarding it. I would appreciate you getting back with me as soon as you speak to Mr. Gillespie regarding the meaning behind his text from yesterday. If it meant he was willing to settle, then I would drop the $120,000 in charges, the many criminal charges, the DV charge, and the family court charge. There are no legal consequences for keeping his word, and we can move on with our lives. If he does not keep word, he can either combine this case with the criminal case or the separate case. I have all of the information ready to give the police, and they said I could come by at any time. I would ask you to ask Mr. Greg Gillespie to really reflect on the situation and the beautiful way he described what our lives would turn out after this. I'm attaching it. I want to just put this behind us this week, and he promises me all along. I just need a concrete answer. You're also welcome to reach me by phone. Again, that's the email she sent right after, which was mainly a copy and paste to his attorney. Okay, so we have that. And again, of course, there's more. So then she emails Greg on Tuesday saying, hello, I just wanted to attach a screenshot in case your firm questioned any relations with Joe Cotchett, who has and is representing my family in legal matters. Here's Joe hosting a party for 40 people to celebrate my father's work anniversary. Again, I'm just baffled and unsure it was legal. By the way, if anybody works at Joe Cotchett Law and wants to speak with me off the record, you do not have to come forward. You can talk to me off the record. I would love to speak with you. There's no formal representation with an attorney for the time being, as I am planning on going with a criminal case first, which I have not heard you are okay, so anyway, there it is. So there she gets to show Uncle Joe Dober, which we showed earlier. There that is. And now we have the 77 pages of documents, which I did note a few of them. Page 167. I mean, look, we could go through, page 67, right? 77 page. He says, take the effing pills. Stop threatening me. She goes, I think you're the one threatening me here. He said, you could block me. Anyway, it goes back and forth. We haven't read these. It's ridiculous. So then we have on Monday the emails that came from the lawyer right here. Miss Jane Doe, please note that we have been retained to represent Greg Gillespie regarding the civil complaint you recently filed. Therefore, please direct all future communications to our firm. Please provide us with your attorney's contact information so that we can communicate with them moving forward. At this point, I don't believe Jane Doe had an attorney, and she still emails Greg because she says, well, as she shared right here, she emailed Greg to basically say, I'm emailing you because this isn't for the civil case. This is for a different case. So that's what she said to Greg right here. This is why she still emails him later on that day. She goes, this message is not related to the civil suit. So that's why she emails him, even though, and again, this is kind of like harassment, right? Because he's retained counsel and said, please email my counsel. And then attached here too are the notice of appearance and acceptance. This is from his attorney, Mr. Oh, here it is. So this is where it gets interesting. Oh, all that stuff was not interesting. We will be sure to provide you with conformed copies as soon as we receive the same. In the meantime, it appears from a brief review of the pleadings that have been filed to date that a non-invasive prenatal paternity test should be ordered. Mr. Greg Gillespie is willing to pay for the test. Please let us know if you are agreeable. If so, we believe that Arc Point Labs in Scottsdale can administer the test, and we would be happy to contact them and forward additional details about the testing process. I'm attaching Arc Point's website. All right. There it is. So there's Jane. Oh, by the way, all right, we're going to have to wrap this up soon and get over to Patreon. We're running out of time. So there it is. He's got his lawyers saying, all right, let's take the paternity test. Oh my gosh. Did we already share this one? So now we have Jane Doe saying later on Monday, Miss Bowman, I want to be clear that the reason I'm filing this case against Greg is because he coerced me into taking abortion pills and the personal damages I have suffered. So basically what she's saying is it's not whether or not he's a father, it's that he convinced me to take it. I will be amending the current lawsuit for the additional punitive damages of $75,000 again, which shows motive because money's involved, proves motive, right? I don't know. I'm an idiot. What do I know? I'm very clear of my motives. She said, I'm very clear of my motives and stance. This has nothing to do with money and everything to do with being a man of integrity. All I'm asking him to do is to keep his word. If he does that, everything will be dropped. However, it seems to me that he did whatever he could to get me to have an abortion and say whatever I wanted to hear and order. Well, she says one of the babies is still viable, so she can get a paternity test. I hope that he's who he claims to be, blah, blah, blah. She said, I'm sending a copy of this to him. In one of these emails, she also talks about, he also told me for days how sick he was. Around 11 a.m., I decided to come by there on my way home from the gym. Oh, this is a lady in her 30s with time in the morning to go to the gym. She's clearly just so busy with work. He didn't respond to repeated knocks on the door, and I didn't know what to do. I've checked on people before, but they always have been okay. And honestly, I had no idea what a person is supposed to do if they suspect otherwise. I didn't know if I should call 911 or what, but it was a very helpless situation. I stayed for 20 to 30 minutes, then got a text from him as I was driving out saying he was sleeping and asked me why I would come by. I explained that since he had COVID badly and did not respond to messages, I thought he might be dead. He wishes he was dead. He responded by saying that people don't die from COVID. Unbeknownst to me, he was there the whole time and had snapped a photo of me at the door. Clearly clueless as to what to do. The day after the abortion, he said he could file harassment charges for me being at his door. I walked into a trap. I am sure what his intentions are with me, but he seemed to be calculated in his actions. So he was willing to play hardball with her. Obviously, it didn't work out in the short term, but that's where that stands. So, guys, I'm getting a phone call here. Hold on 1 second, folks. Jeez, that's wild. I mean, let me know if you want me to cover that in a separate video, like just because that's kind of like, I mean, was that? No, I mean, no, it's amazing. I mean, like I've been live for the last 2 hours covering it, and we've just been going through all of her emails. It's absolute. I mean, because they're arguing that there's no motive, but clearly she was trying to get punitive damages out of you and all these other things. It's just, I mean, the email she sent from one of these that company. I'm trying to remember what company it was. It's completely fabricated. The medical document she sent to you from One Medical, and people shared that in this document. It's like it's the one that's from Lisa Daniels from One Medical saying, we think we would testify on your behalf. So this lady, Lisa Daniels, went to high school with her. I'll ask Woodnick. Right. Well, someone in the chat showed that this is clearly doctored because the tap. Crazy. Well, of course, everyone believes you, but still wild. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, let me know, like, no pressure, but if you want to share it, we'll play it, but at the same time, no pressure. Um, I could also only take the audio from it and just verify it myself. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, let me know, and everyone that was reporting, everyone's got your back, and everyone appreciates in supporting you. But yeah, obviously, getting this case, getting Clayton's case, hopefully it can have enough impact where it gets the judge to say some powerful words that kind of vindicate you guys. Yeah, we're gonna find out because that's an elected position. So we're gonna get a petition going once this is done to get the DA involved. So we'll definitely continue with it. It won't be something we kind of like halt. And hopefully, right now, all of this just continues to drain her resources so that she can't fight it. All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon. All right, bye. Well, folks, I got to go over to Patreon. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to take 5 minutes before going to Patreon. And I'm going to be on Patreon right now, discussing some new elements that are coming down. Because there are definitely new elements coming down. So if you guys want to be a part of that, obviously Jane Doe is going to be over there. So we still, make sure we're mindful of the conversation. But you can go to my Patreon right here if you want to be a part of the conversation as it continues right now. If you don't, that's okay. You can continue to support in whichever way you see fit. We appreciate you. I want to get to some super chats real quick. Cindy with $5. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Albert Einstein. True. CM with $10. I'm willing to bet that Ben Z was JD's original Bachelor target. Wonder if he has any interesting emails from her. Maybe. I mean, she's got other Bachelor people that have followed her. Carrie with $10. Dear Lord, we have been here for 84 years. Bless you, Dave. You get extras today. Thank you so much. Pond Scum Posse, $10. Thank you. Thank you. And also Pond Scum Posse, $5. Let's contact Dr. Phil and his network. Nancy Grace is on there, and Dr. Phil has a true crime show. Bonus that DG once did his show. Maybe that'll be the next, but right now, Megyn Kelly. But yeah, maybe after. Jamie, $10. Have we tried to get Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy to cover Clayton in his story? Clayton tried to get a hold of her, but we can absolutely try to get Clayton on her show. If we can get Clayton on her show, that would be amazing to tell his story. All right. That's going to be it for me. Again, I'm heading right over to Patreon right now, and I'm going to be taking a 5-minute break to go to the bathroom and have a bite to eat, and then I'll be on Patreon. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. I'll continue to discuss the phone call I was just on. I will continue to discuss that right now. I'm getting a text from somebody. Anyway, we'll talk to you guys all later. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining.